What's up, everyone? This is Zach and Rock from SquadCast.
And we help professional podcasters record remote interviews in studio quality.
So today we're here to talk about what to do with a bad interview. So say for whatever reason you have an interview and the chemistry just wasn't right with you and your guest, or maybe you weren't on your A game, whatever the reason. We understand that sometimes you can feel like obligated to still release it even though it doesn't fit the type of podcast that you would usually release. So here we're going to walk through 3 ways that you can approach handling a bad interview. So Zach, can you break down those 3 reasons why, and then we'll dive in deeper to each of them?
Yeah, the first thing is that, within reason, within your guest schedule, it is totally cool to re-record. The second thing is that it's okay to not publish an episode. And the third thing is that you can totally save and reuse that content across all of your social media or even within your podcast.
That's really good. So the first one, it's okay to re-record. So are you talking about like reaching out to that person and saying, hey, this happened or this didn't happen? Like, what do you think is the best way to approach re-recording with somebody?
Now, obviously, if it's a high-profile guest, that's going to be tougher to do. But within reason, if you're transparent about why, most people have a pretty high quality standard, and if you explain to them, hey, it's below that standard, then they'd rather you not publish that, I would say. But kind of, it's going to be a dialogue, and you can agree on that. Or if it's more, on the micro level, then you can re-record, your question that you didn't like how you worded something in the moment. You can re-record that as long as you have that same environment and the same microphone and all that. You can slice that in post-production pretty easy. And it's one of the luxuries of podcasting is you have that editing step baked in, and you can kind of control the conversation a little bit more, delete words that you didn't like and otherwise. So you do have that flexibility.
And then point number 2 is it's okay to not publish. So you don't necessarily have to tell this guest, hey, I'm not publishing it for this reason, but what if they ask you why not? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I would say, again, be transparent with the reason why. It could be quality standards, it could be it's going to be coming out a little bit later than anticipated or something like that. I would just also maybe front load that you don't use all of the interviews, or you may use a piece of the interview in an episode that's kind of a bigger picture look with multiple people that you're speaking with. There's all kinds of ways that you can use that content, and I think that fits into the third point, is that it's okay to save and reuse. So what does that look like?
Well, I think it's just like what you're saying, finding other uses with that content. So maybe there's a snippet that you can use for, like you said, a podcast, another podcast, or you can use it as part of your marketing or promotion stuff. So there's definitely creative ways that you can use that, and it's all about growing the network in a lot of ways too. So it's never hurts to keep these conversations going.
Yeah, and I think just being in the habit of reusing all of your podcast content is a great thing. There's a lot of great stuff in there. Podcasts tend to be evergreen, so you can cut little snippets out, make stuff for social media with like Headliner, and share that. Or what Tim Ferriss does is when he takes a vacation, I think, he makes these meta episodes with like quotes from guests, like many guests, all on one topic. So if you don't, find use in publishing the entirety of a conversation, save it in a folder, never get rid of that content, and then you'll find a use for it in the future with other content that you're working on.
Cool. Well, we know having a bad interview is nothing that we ever aspire to have, but it does happen. So hopefully you find these 3 things helpful. Those 3 things being, it's okay to re-record, it's okay not to publish, and then it's also find another creative way to reuse that content. So again, I'm Rock, this is Zach, we're from SquadCast.
Yeah, and if you do record remote interviews, we're happy to help with that, and we help alleviate a lot of these things, the frustration of scheduling. If you need to re-record, you have access to all of your audio that you record on SquadCast, so future forward. So if you need to reuse something, it's always going to be there in your library, accessible for you, and we'll make sure to help capture that audio in the highest quality possible for both you and your guest. So with that, thanks very much.